Ladies and gentlemen, what's good? YouTube? It's Jay here. So there's some exciting news regarding XDefiant that was just released today that I'm a little happy to talk about. It's related to progression and a couple of other additional things that aren't nearly as, well, in my mind, as important as the progression issues we've been having with this game. So let's just kind of jump right into it. Earlier this week, an XDefiant update dropped that increased the XP and gains you got for your guns by 500 additional XP, making it a lot easier to get attachments for your guns and so forth. But there was a big issue with that particular update that a lot of XDefiant players were not happy about, and that was the doubling of the required levels to get your mastery camos. Now, if you do not know how XDefiant mastery systems work, when you get a gun to level 50, you get bronze. When you get it to 75, you get silver, and then when you get it to 100, you get gold. Well, after this very, in my opinion, small XP gain increase, they decided to double the overall size and requirement for, well, in addition to this XP gain, they decided to double the overall levels you needed to get each mastery camo. So now if you wanted to get bronze, it was 100, silver I think was 150, and gold is now 200. And a lot of people were not happy about that. Well, I'm happy to announce that XDefiant has said they will be doubling the overall XP that you need to get for a gun to level up. So now, for your primary weapons, you only need 1500 XP when it used to be 3000, and then it was brought down to 2500. Now it's just 1500 XP, which is a monumental increase to the amount of XP that you're going to get for your guns. But to basically balance this off, you now still have to get a gun up to level 200 to get it gold, but the overall leveling process has been doubled, so it's like you're going to have constant double XP, and I think a little bit more, honestly, running when double XP weekends return, so you should be able to get your camos at a faster rate than ever before, actually. For secondary weapons also, it would only take 500 XP to level said weapon up. So let me just kind of talk about why this overall change initially was just not a good idea. Now, I understand you don't want a mastery grind to be too complicated or too easy either. There has to be a middle ground. But the update that released earlier this week, in my opinion, was not a good way to kind of address that weird middle ground. Like, I kind of saw what they were going for. They didn't want it too easy to get the mastery camos, but they did want it to be easier to get a gun maxed out so you could have all the attachments and stuff, which makes sense. I fully understand that. But I think the problem lies in the overall progression system when it comes to XDefiant. From levels 1 to like 45, you have something different to chase aside from a mastery camo. You had your attachments to chase for, which made the grind feel a little bit more worth it, because as you're going, you're unlocking new attachments to make your guns play a little differently or to tune them to how you want them to play. But once you get past the attachment grind, you only have the mastery camos, which are so far apart from each other, there's really nothing kind of in between to really fill those gaps, if that makes sense. I understand it's supposed to be a grind, it's supposed to be hard, but there's a difference between a good grind and a mindless grind. With the update earlier this week, you would have had to, I believe, spend around 20 to 25 hours per weapon to fully max it out and get it gold, which is just obnoxious and insane. Especially for things like the double barrel shotgun, which stops getting attachments after like level like 12 or 14 or something. So you're telling me that I have 186 levels of a gun to grind with only 3 camos to show for it? Like, I get that those camos are supposed to be special, but the problem with that is, what am I doing in between to kind of keep things interesting, if that makes sense? Just spamming the exact same set of maps. And this isn't a diss or a disrespectful thing I'm trying to say towards the developers over at Ubisoft on XDefiant. We've had the same set of maps for a while. We've had the same weapons for a while. Just in my mind, knowing I would have to grind 180 plus levels on a gun that maxes out all of its attachments at like level 13 or whatever is just insane. That does not sound like something that would be worth it in the end. That generally just sounds like a grind for the sake of a grind without any real feeling of accomplishment kind of behind it. Like, don't get me wrong, the gold camos look amazing, and I have a few guns gold already, but to have certain weapons that have literally nothing in between to circumvent those empty spaces where you aren't getting camos or attachments either, it's just like, it's not worth it in my opinion. I can sort of justify it for guns like the ACR or any of the LMGs or any guns that have attachments above the levels of like 40 or 45 or whatever, but for weapons like the double barrel shotgun, where you have a very limited number of attachments, and I mean very limited, that just is not a fun experience in my personal opinion. So I'm excited for this new change. I don't think it'll necessarily make the game too easy, but I mean, we gotta be realistic here. you've got 3 camels to grind for. That's pretty much it per weapon. Now, we're obviously going to be getting more mastery camels and stuff over time, but you can't have a grind that is just an uninteresting grind, you know what I mean? Like, there's no additional set of challenges you got to do to unlock camels, like, in between or whatever. Just having players grind out 6,000 kills for each gun, and that's just the grind, that's just not an entertaining grind, if that makes sense. I get the concept behind it, but in terms of execution, I just don't think it was done properly. So I'm kind of happy to see that they are reverting this decision. On another note, we are getting TDM today. So TDM is officially in XDefiant now. So if you're tired of playing Hotshot, Domination, or Hardpoint, or Occupy as they call it in this game, we do have Team Deathmatch now available for you to play. I've actually yet to play it. I will be playing it on my live stream tonight just to kind of check out and see how the mode feels. And just to be clear, the patch addressing the XP gains is not out just yet, so you're still kind of stuck with the slower XP gains towards level 200 for the time being. I'm gonna assume they're probably gonna push this with the season 1 update, which drops, I believe, in about 10 days or so. Overall, I think this is an absolutely insane and good change for the health of XDefiant. Like I said before, I understand that people want a grind in their video games, but I think the problem stems from the fact that you can't just have the grind be completely mindless. You have to make it interesting or something, you know? You can't just have, oh, well, here's 200 levels. You can get maybe 1 to 2 levels a game, and objectives don't even count towards those level gains. That's just not entertaining, man. Like, there's only so much I could play of the select number of maps we currently have in the game. Now, I know we're going to be getting more over time, but just to be farming literally 6,000 kills per gun just for 3 camos is, in my head, just not worth it. Honestly, I just don't see the point of it. I don't think it should be an instant satisfaction kind of thing. I don't think you should get the camos instantaneously, but I do think there has to be a balance where you make it fun, fair, but still kind of a grind. Like, you got to have some kind of in between, you know? But hey, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel for more gaming content, guys, and as always, this has been Jay. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day. Peace.